Hello, ZSR. We are here with the grand finals of Zelda 2 Randomizer, the Max Rando tournament between BuzzThunder and traiLZ. I'm joined by Frico and Victor Santa Fe on comms. How are you guys doing?
Everything's fine, man. Good evening, everybody. This is the grand finals. So, yeah, Boss Thunder was in the loser's bracket, but he won last match against Trail, so he gained the right to face him in a second match. So, how are you doing tonight, Mr. Frico?
Oh, fantastic. Looks like we've got ourselves Shield Reflect and a glove to start things off. And to
So, yeah,
follow up,
one less thing to worry about.
yeah, looks like we see Buzz Thunder in Stonehenge, and it looks like the cross being picked up.
And the players will have to place 3 gems, which means that the raft is required.
Yeah, we're going to have either 3 gems on the western continent and Great Palace on the east, or Great Palace on the east, and we'll only be able to place 2 gems. So, yes, the raft will be a required item for our runners.
So they started with 3 heart containers, which isn't that bad. And well, we see BuzzThunder entering Trophy Cave. There is an item there. We'll see what it is.
Yeah, hopefully not a pea bag, but you never know how many heart containers are taken out of the seed, at least one of them being taken away straight away. Buzz Thunder looked like he found looked like might have been a Moa, but Buzz Thunder gonna find a magic jar at the end of the trophy cave.
That's not bad at all, especially if you have a Thunderbird requirement.
Well, we'd still have to find Thunder, though, but being able to cast Thunder is definitely half the battle, for sure.
Yeah, you gotta think ahead in terms of that. So Trails following suit, entering Trophy Cave, dealing with the Moa as soon as he enters, and he will pick up his magic container.
Yeah, Trail's making pretty short work of the trophy cave, and it looks like Buzz Thunder trying to move on, trying to explore the continent, or at least what he can at this point. With glove in hand, we'll see what Buzz Thunder ends up finding. Trails finds a town, and possibly more importantly, the rap spot. But nothing doing in that particular town. Trails immediately getting out of there.
And BuzzThunder finding Bagu, which is something you don't see every day in this randomizer.
Well, if we need to pass through Saria to get anywhere, Buzz Thunder definitely prepared for that.
So I believe the spell slots that we have are the 3rd and the 4th spell slots, where they have shield and reflect. So that means that they won't have to enter the town of Saria for spells, nor the town of Miro, which requires the medicine. But I could be wrong. Let me check when Trails gets his spell.
Yeah, it might have been the 2nd and 3rd slot, but better to double check things.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's
it's the first 3
correct.
spots that are covered, so Fairy being picked up by Trails in that first spell slot.
Yeah, so it is as if they already have the trophy.
All right, right, so the trophy is out of the item pool.
So yeah, thank you guys for watching this tonight, and hope you enjoy it. This has been a very fun tournament, and yeah, we've got people from Mexico and people from all over the world to watch this event. So BuzzThunder entering Vase Lady's house to get his spell.
Yeah,
So getting the fairy spell early means that there's a probability you're gonna have to do palaces early. Well, probability that the raft will be in those places. And we see traiLZ entering palace 3 or 6. He has the glove, he has the fairy spell. So this is not a bad move, and I believe this is palace 3, which makes things even better. And I'm wrong. It is palace 6.
yeah, trail's getting blocked off. Might need the jump spell to proceed any further, but another palace right next door, and it looks like palace 4. We do have reflect, but trail's not interested.
Yeah, palace 4 is a palace that has a lot of key locks, and I believe the players can cast fairy only once at the moment. So yeah, that didn't look tempting at all. And I believe BuzzThunder is in palace 2.
Yeah, it certainly looks like the layout of palace 2, at least to me. So it looks
Oh
like
no, it is palace 1.
ah, so 1, 3, and 4 are palaces on the west side.
Yeah, trail's entering the town of Mira to get his downstaff technique. And maybe some hint about the medicine.
Well, information is good to have, but it looks like BuzzThunder. Ooh, 5 block horsehead. This should go fairly quickly.
Yeah, down goes Horsehead, and he's about to place his first gem.
7.5 minutes in, BuzzThunder already on to placing his first gem. Attack 3, Magic 2, Life 2. Trail's actually a little bit ahead when it comes to the levels, and it says go west to find the medicine. So I believe that means the 2 P-bag caves that would be in the west is where the medicine lies.
Yeah, we still haven't seen Magic Container Cave, Medicine Cave, Pivot Cave. And which one is BuzzThunder in? And Heart Container Cave, and BuzzThunder is in Heart Container Cave. So we can rule that one out. So we still have 3 caves to see. And have we seen a grass style? I believe we have, right?
Yeah, that was the cross.
Oh, you're absolutely right. So trail's about to find the cluster with Palace 4 and Palace 1. And trail's decides to go inside 4.
Well, might not be a bad idea. Might spend a little bit of time digging out an item, but Trail's not too thrilled about that first room he's found.
So trails in the bottom of Palace 4. This room tends to lead you to the boss or the item. Let's see where it leads. and it leads to the back of the palace, while BuzzThunder picks up the medicine out of Medicine Cave. That's vanilla.
Well, can't randomize them all, I guess. BuzzThunder picking up the medicine. I think the trophy is off the table as well because we have the first three spells, and the trophy is linked to the second spell, if I'm not mistaken, on the
Yeah, that
spell
is
list.
correct.
So we can mark the trophy and the medicine for BuzzThunder, and then the trophy for traiLZ, as neither of them will be able to pick up the trophy. And it looks like
And BuzzThunder checking out Palace 3 or 6. Sorry, that's 6. And he goes into Miro to get his downstab technique and his spell from this town. So that will save him some time because traiLZ, if this is a required spell, traiLZ will have to double deep this town because he was already here. And yeah, Star, this is game number 2. The first game, BuzzThunder defeated traiLZ, but as traiLZ was on the winner bracket, this is actually kind of like a third game. So this is the final match. Whoever wins the tournament.
Yeah, traiLZ and BuzzThunder actually first met in the winners final about 2 rounds ago. BuzzThunder unfortunately taking the L, getting sent down to the losers bracket, and I believe he needed to defeat the reigning champion, Rose City Saint, to have the opportunity to have a second go at traiLZ in the finals, of which he capitalized, took the win, and here we are in the final match. So winner takes all between BuzzThunder and traiLZ this time around.
Yeah, and BuzzThunder picked up the spell from Mito, but I failed to see which one it was. So we have to watch when he pauses. And he enters Palace 6, and he's not interested.
Yeah, not a big surprise there that BuzzThunder bails out. He'll probably check Palace 4. We'll see what he ends up finding there, if that's a little more to his liking.
Yeah, traiLZ is finding the item room in Palace
Fire.
4, so
All
we'll
right.
see what.
So fire is
What's in
linked
there?
to jump.
And traiLZ finding a piggyback in Palace 4, and he cannot get it because he was a fairy, and fairy cannot pick piggybacks.
Well, that's a shame. So P-Bag and Palace 4. So traiLZ going to look a little further into Palace 4, hopefully take down Karok, claim a crystal.
Yeah, we need a little sword for the fairy, so we can break blocks and grab piggybacks and grab keys.
Well, it looks like traiLZ found what he was looking for. Going to cast Reflect. No, he's going to have to hug a Karok. Not enough magic to cast Reflect, unfortunately. This should equalize our runners on 1 crystal apiece. traiLZ and BuzzThunder.
Yeah, meanwhile, BuzzThunder finding the magic container cave.
It looks like for the time being, BuzzThunder slightly ahead in the way of information. Trails about 7 minutes behind when it comes to placing that first crystal, but we'll see what ends up coming of it. Ooh, BuzzThunder finding the raft.
Yeah, that's a very important thing. That's the thing they were looking for. So we'll see how long it takes for Trails to find that cave. And
Oh,
of course, BuzzThunder will sail.
oh, not so fast. Looks like a red Dyra encounter in the way. Looks like gonna get through it. Getting a little embargo on his cargo there before he heads off to the eastern continent.
And the first thing we found in the Eastern continent is a town. And it is Naburu, which has a free spell. And we're still looking for a potential thunder in case it is required, and other spells that could be helpful.
Well, life would be a pretty good spell to have. The spell would be a pretty decent one as well. Open up parts of the new Kasuto, and there it is, the spell showing up for BuzzThunder.
Yeah, very low probability of it being required, but you don't know. We have seen some pretty nasty seeds that required that kind of thing. So Trails in Magic Container Cave about to pick up his raft.
I think the spell was part of what was required in the last match between these two, where something was in the spell tower.
I believe the spell item was in the spell tower, so yeah, it was terrible.
You know, never say never. It could always be that one run where it does pop up, but Trails finding the raft while BuzzThunder continues on the eastern continent. So I would presume Trails to be trying to make his way to the raft spot at this point, but still interested in looking around, seeing what he can find on the western continent.
So the thing that has me a little bit puzzled about Trails is that he hasn't found Palace 1 maybe. Well, he hasn't entered Palace 1. So yeah, that could be a thing cuz maybe Trails will sail in a few moments unless he finds that palace.
You know, Trails, speaking strictly from an exploration side, is behind. There's no way of sugarcoating it. BuzzThunder has found, I believe, an extra magic jar and an extra heart container that Trails does not have. Trails does have the raft, so that may equalize things in the way of Trails getting over to that eastern continent and hopefully finding something that he can work with going forward.
Yeah, the only thing that Trails knows that BuzzThunder doesn't know is that the item in Palace 4 is a P-Bag, and that's not that big of a deal at this moment. It could be if the seed gets trolley, but at this point, yeah, BuzzThunder has a very big lead in terms of exploration. And it looks like Trails will sail.
And it certainly looks like that's what he's going for at this point. I don't see any other option for Trails at this point. Death Mountain, maybe, but not exactly the best option. BuzzThunder fairy feeding through the Valley of Death. So we'll see what ends up being at the end of Valley of Death in the way of which palace we're going to have.
Yeah, the thing is that traiLZ is only missing on a hard container and a magic container. Well, I'm sorry, he has 5 magic containers, so he's only missing on one hard container. So yeah, it's not a bad move for him to sail east and check things out. But yeah, he probably has in his head that he's missing a palace in the Western continent.
BuzzThunder found a palace at the end of Valley of Death, but seemed very disinterested in actually exploring it.
Maybe it was Palace 5. I
Well,
also
nothing
failed
came
to.
out of the statue when he whacked it, so
Oh
I
yes, if
believe
he walked
that's
the
Palace
statue
5.
and if he walked the statue and it didn't have anything, it's Palace 5. So yeah, Palace 5 is not that good of an option because it could be very long.
Well, I can't disagree with that one. Palace 5 definitely been the thorn in the ass of plenty of runners so far.
Yeah, also he has attack 3, so the Guma fight will be really long.
Oh, you mean whacking Boss Guma with a Nerf bat isn't the best way to take him out?
Yeah, I don't believe so.
I'm starting to see a little bit of an issue here. It looks like we might be in a situation where we could be boots locked.
Yeah, kind
Uh,
of looks like it. Well, we have caves, and BuzzThunder is doing the the survey at this moment, so the scouting.
yeah, I'm just kind of worried that there's that palace, in the lava, and where because reasons, it's got to have an item in it, and it's got to be a key one. Because how dare you try to win a match of Zelda 2 Randomizer without having to dive Palace 5 for an item?
So it looks like this cave led him to Maze Island and the water tile. So yeah, at least he found something new. There's Maze Island. He's gonna check which palace it has.
Now, hopefully, he's able to find the drop downs fairly quickly as well. So, BuzzThunder into Maze Island. It looks like Trail's still doing a bit of exploration. Ooh, it looks like I see Three Eyed Rock.
Yeah, that could be a thing too. And BuzzThunder in a Maze Island, that it's kind of giving me a boot block vibes. I don't know. Let's check it out when he exits
Well,
this.
found a heart container so far. Kind of hoping for something a little more impactful for BuzzThunder with potentially finding this second item in Maze Island, as well as whatever palace it is. If it's the Great Palace, information. If it's
So
not,
yeah, BuzzThunder getting some love from this Sid. And Trails finding one of the Piwa caves in the eastern continent.
all right. So BuzzThunder still making his way through Maze Island, and Trails finding the child.
That could be a thing.
Well, especially if it leads to Thunder. That's going to be a rough get for BuzzThunder, I think. given where he is and what he's
Yeah, and thankfully
exploring.
for BuzzThunder, this Maze Island is not boot blocked. Trails found a child, Mr. Ricky of Kokiri, who is tracking for us tonight. A big shout out to him.
Yeah, so it looks like BuzzThunder are going to at least peek inside and not really interested. Palace 2, perhaps?
Yeah, I think he'll find the item before entering the palace, because as soon as he finishes the palace, he won't walk out of Maze Island. It's too long, too many encounters, so he will up and A out of here.
Ah,
And this
fair
is Palace
enough.
3.
Okay. So, unfortunately, Maze Island just heart for the 2 at-large items. So it looks like BuzzThunder are going to have a go. Palace 3 with this opening room?
Yeah. But
And
he's
without
close to getting a level, so he's gonna farm the iron knuckle in the entrance, or get a jar and be able to use the fairy spell.
Yeah, it looks like gonna at least ferry through that first little area. Trails finding
Palace 2.
Palace 2 for Trails, Palace 3 for BuzzThunder, I believe. So this is concerning for me. Uh, are we at a 50-50 shot for Three-Eyed Rock being Great Palace, or do we know it's Great Palace at this point?
I kind of believe it is Great Palace.
I'm trying to think of what other dungeon we've not, or palace, excuse me, that we've not found. And we found Maze Island. We found Valley of Death.
And I guess
And
Trails is in the one palace in the open in the Eastern Continent besides Three-Eye Rock. So yeah,
well,
and the 3 palaces in the Western Continent were in Great Palace. So yeah, if we saw a Three-Eye Rock, it is Great Palace.
oof. So the one time a flute's required, well, I guess we're pulling out all the stops here on a grand final match. Just sound the
Yeah,
troll
it had to throw us some kind of surprise. And yeah, starting with the glove is such a bad omen.
Yeah, I saw the glove and I'm like, oh, well, this should go quickly. Famous last words from the
Yeah.
commentator.
So BuzzThunder finding the item room in Palace 3.
Yeah, it looks like BuzzThunder going to bypass most of the nonsense, and we've got ourselves boots for the side of BuzzThunder, and it looks like Trails continuing on. Hopefully, he'll be able to find something. BuzzThunder might be locked out of here, or can he go downward? Oh, might be able to manage a way up. Oh, well done. One more block to break. No, going down.
Yeah, he needed the jump spell to make that possible. But thankfully, he has downstab, so he can escape. That room is pretty tricky if you don't have either downstab or upstab. And if you're walking from right to left, that's a problem.
Well, at least the runners both have downstab, so there is that consolation prize.
Yeah.
Trails
And
finding a magic jar.
so yeah, BuzzThunder picking up the boots will allow him to get into the water tile, which he already saw. I believe it's near Maze Island, which is where he is. But well, he has the boots, so he can now escape probably Maze Island. We'll have to see the layout, but yeah, now walking out of here has become a possibility.
Yeah, if he can go down, there's a nice strip of water that leads all the way across the bottom part of Maze Island, so that could allow him access to the water tile, although I think he would almost immediately up an A after the water tile. But Palace 3 being claimed. So yeah, BuzzThunder actually going to walk.
But he hasn't seen Palace 2, so he still has a palace to find. And some towns, because Thunder is still a thing.
Well, Thunder is a thing, but we don't know if it's an important thing or not. So I guess, it is what it is, but BuzzThunder onto the water tile and finding another heart up to 7. Wow.
Yeah, Bros is getting all the love from this Sid. And traiLZ finding the Rose City Saint room. So he's validating the Sid. That's an inside joke we have in the community. But yeah, you always find that room before finding the boss. That's kind of a fake boss room because it looks exactly like the boss room, but it just isn't.
Well, I think BuzzThunder just got the bad news that Three-Eyed Rock is a thing. And for him, I believe it's a 50-50 shot as to the flute being required or not. If he meanders over to where Palace 2 is and handshakes with traiLZ, then he will get the bad news. That the last palace that he has available to him, unfortunately, is Three-Eyed Rock.
Yeah, he's entering now a Piva cave where traiLZ was before. I believe this is a magic container. I could be wrong.
I believe you are right. Yeah. Oh, the child. Cave, yeah. Child. Okay. Yeah, I think one was a magic jar, the other the child. But traiLZ is
another possibility in the back of our minds, and that is we haven't seen New Kazuto. It could be hammer blocked. And New Kazuto has 2 items and a spell, so things could go that way too, requiring the hammer.
That is true. We could have a hammer into a flute if New Kazuto is gating off the flute, which, oh no. Have ourselves a nice little line of fetch quests here.
So traiLZ finally finding Helmet Head, and he's about to place his second gem.
Yeah, well done on traiLZ. Finding Helmet Head finally, so get that obstacle out of the way. I think traiLZ is missing Palace 1 at this point. So he may be able to, at least by proxy, pick up a lead by up and A-ing, just getting out of here completely, and finding Palace 1 on the west coast. Now, again, some of the palaces may have items in them, like we saw Palace 3 having the boots, for example. If we have the hammer or the flute kind of at large in one of the palaces, that's going to make things a little silly. Ooh, there's the hammer.
For BuzzThunder. And yeah, flute could be in Palace 5, Palace 6, Death Mountain. The desert tile, I believe we haven't seen, or New Kasuto. So yes, still a lot of possibilities.
So with BuzzThunder kind of distracting me, Trail's finding the any key. I did not
Yeah,
see
one less
what
place.
spell he picked up. Looked like life at the bottom of his spell sheet. And Trail's going to pop into the palace right quick, reset the encounters.
Yeah, we've got a handshake here. BuzzThunder finding Palace 2. Of course, he's gonna do
I
it.
was thinking about it. Nope. No, looks like that's a negative for BuzzThunder. But
Well, maybe he wants to find the desert tile and the town before entering the palace. He already kind of knows almost everything about the Eastern continent, so he probably wants to up an A or something afterwards. And there's the life spell.
BuzzThunder has unfortunately figured out that the flute is going to be our go mode item for this particular run. I don't think the boots are all that necessary, but definitely going to help. Trail's going straight to Maze Island, which is, I believe, the last possible palace that he needs to find before he realizes the bad news of the flute being a required thing.
Well, unless he has entered Palace 1, which I still don't know if he has. If he has, I don't know why he didn't complete it. Unless he completed it in 5 seconds and we didn't realize, but I don't think that's the case.
No. You're right. I don't think Trails has been into Palace 1. So for Trails, it might be a 50-50 at this point because he's yet to locate Palace 1 or the Great Palace. So for him, it's a 50-50 shot. BuzzThunder, unfortunately, confirmed the bad news that I think we all knew as observers a little while ago because of the combined information of both of the runners, letting us know that Three Eyed Rock is unfortunately the Great Palace.
Yeah, fortunately for BuzzThunder, he's gonna find the boss. I believe he's on the right way. However, this is an elevator, so he could take the wrong way here, but yeah, we still don't know if he's going the right way. I'm sorry for hyping his progress in Palace 2, but Palace 2 is ruthless. So.
Well, Palace 2 did not look to be all that easy. Trail spent a significant amount of time in Palace 2. BuzzThunder, however, does have the any key, so that will speed things along. We won't have to pause for a commercial break to reset our magic, to cast Fairy, to get through all of the key blocks that are encountered along the way. And Trail's finding the boots.
And BuzzThunder, his magic container out of Palace 2.
Yeah, so BuzzThunder in Palace 2 finding the item, Trails in Palace 3 also finding the item. So now I think
another thing that could be important here is magic containers, because there's a lady who asked for magic containers. They have 6 at the moment, but it could be 7. So that's another item that probably gets in the
could
way.
end up getting in the way. Well, BuzzThunder should be able to show us before Trails the location of New Kasuto if it's hidden in the wilds. I think BuzzThunder has the hammer. Trails taking an L against Rebanak there as BuzzThunder is going to continue through Palace 2. Trails is at the end of Palace 3. What may end up working against traiLZ is the two Maze Island items we know are already a pair of hearts. Uh, oh, Rebanak getting dismounted, not too pleased that his horse was scared off. traiLZ, well, I guess in the lead, in the fact that he's placed his third gem before BuzzThunder. However, there is that minor little detail that traiLZ has not found Palace 1. So,
Yeah, and BuzzThunder is also completing 100% of Palace 2. So yeah, he is not gaining a lot of time here.
well,
And
traiLZ
there's
found
a
one of the
heart.
items. So I think traiLZ is going to potentially full clear the Maze Island area. Or he may actually just forego one of the items. I doubt it, but, well,
Yeah,
we'll see
having
what
a
happens.
50-50 shot of requiring the flute kind of makes you be careful and grab everything on your way. And there he finds the second item, and having the boots helps a lot in this maze island. So that's a point where traiLZ gained a lot of time from BuzzThunder, because BuzzThunder explored this maze island bootless, and BuzzThunder finally finding Helmet Head.
Yeah, I think traiLZ is going to get out of Maze Island. He'll find, I believe, another heart on the water tile. So that'll
That is
put him to
correct.
6. But both of our runners are now uh, free of having to place any more gems. I'm not going to say that they're going to end up not going into other palaces, because we do not know where the flute is, and that is our item that is going to put us into go mode. Three-eyed rock gating us from the Great Palace.
So I forgot where BuzzThunder got the hammer. Do you remember if it was
It
on the
was in one
Biwa
of the
cave on the eastern
caves.
continent?
I don't remember which one, but he went from left to right in a cave on the eastern continent.
Yeah, thank you, Bisco. And traiLZ hadn't been in Palace 5. So yeah, he's now finding out that that's Palace 5. He Apenace goes back to the western continent, and he'll be looking for Palace 1, I believe. And a candle for BuzzThunder in a boulder blocked cave in the western continent.
Yeah, so that's a little bit of a whammy there. At least all of our spell items are found, so I think at this point we may need to find new Kasudo. If not for the spell, then, well, BuzzThunder finding a one-up doll in Spectacle Rock.
So yeah, we have Hammer Cave, 2 locations in New Kasudo, Palace 5, and Palace 6. Those are the possibilities at this point.
Yeah, we know all of the items elsewhere are not the location of the flute, so BuzzThunder taking a gamble here, going into Death Mountain. Hopefully he finds what he's looking for.
Yeah, he has the boots, which help a lot in Dead Mountain, but we still don't know how trolly this one is.
Well, I think we're about to find out. BuzzThunder pretty much committing himself into Death Mountain, although traiLZ still unable to locate Palace 1.
Yeah, that is making him feel really bad at this point, I guess, because, well, you're in a race, you're against a great opponent, and not finding either Palace 1 or GP is a pretty big deal.
Well, I think it's more finding Palace. Either of the two palaces is what he needs, but unfortunately, we know the palace that he can find is Palace 1, which is going to have that feels bad man moment that BuzzThunder experienced not too long ago, realizing that he needs the flute to get into Great Palace.
Yeah, and there's a probability that traiLZ will go for the item in 1. And it's a P-bag in Hammer Cave, so that's one less location.
Oh no. All right, so Palace 5, Palace 6. Spectacle Rock's out. That was a 1-up doll.
Yep.
Hammer Cave's out. That was a P-bag.
P-bag.
So we have Spell Tower, Old Lady, and New Kasuto. 5 and 6 then. Unless I'm missing something else.
And traiLZ finally finding Palace 1. And of course he's gonna go for the item.
Yeah, he kind of has to.
Oh, the lady asks for 7.
Oh no. Oh no. Oh, so we've got a 1 in 3 chance of the Spell Tower being where the flute is. Well, a 1 in 4, I guess. The old lady could have it. But we've got a chance of a magic jar dropping in the Spell Tower, which could lead to the old lady's item, which I will laugh if it's magic jar to magic jar, but we'll see. There are
could be
potentially we have potentially a heart container, 2 magic jars, and the flute left to find, at least in the way of items.
Yeah, and in terms of spells, we know that there's a P-bag in the Spell Tower, so it's either 5 or 6.
Ripperoni. So it can't be one of the magic jars.
One of the magic jars is either in 5 or 6, and the other could be a flute or a heart container. So there's a heart container in Palace 1, which BuzzThunder didn't get. So traiLZ now has 7 magic containers, but I believe he doesn't have the hammer.
So, no, he does not.
Yeah, but pretty funny.
I think traiLZ knows. Oh, no, he doesn't. But it's actually passing on Spectacle Rock. Oh, he doesn't have the hammer. Right.
Yeah, he doesn't.
Details. So, unfortunately, traiLZ is going to end up, going around Death Mountain just like BuzzThunder did not too long ago. And he's going to find a P-bag for his troubles. Oh, no, and BuzzThunder's into Palace 1 now, as that was not removed from his suspect list. Even though he did finish the palace, he did not get the item out of it.
Yeah, that was a weird move. However, at that moment, we still didn't know that the flute would be required. So I don't blame
not
him.
At all. It's just one of those, you can only kind of just go oof and, roll with the punches. So traiLZ, unfortunately, going into Death Mountain, and he's not going to get anywhere with this. Unfortunately for him, although I believe he has found the correct cave.
Yeah, that's the one.
What he's going to find at
thankfully
the
for
end.
him, he didn't take that long.
Well, I mean, yeah, that's a good thing for him, that's for sure. But still, the end of this journey is not going to be to traiLZ's liking. That's all I know at this point. BuzzThunder also chasing phantoms, as it will at least get him his 7th magic jar. Although if the old lady gets him anything useful or not, yeah, traiLZ is out of there. So we know he's got to go to the east. traiLZ does to get anything at this point, because he's got boulder block caves and nothing else that's useful to him. So I'm not sure what traiLZ is doing at this point.
So yeah, I'm gonna say this, and this race will be decided by the hammer being required or not. Because if traiLZ doesn't find the hammer and goes for palaces before doing the other stuff he has to do, which is what he's about to do now, he's entering Palace 6. He could find the flute, and the hammer not being required could lead BuzzThunder into going to look for a magic container, which he's about to find. So that won't take him that long. So yeah, we'll see. We'll see what happens.
Well, yeah, it's really, a matter of the 3 item locations that are left. The old lady in New Kasuto, 5 and 6. It's a matter of, a shell game at this point to see who finds what. We have 1 magic container that's at large, and we have the flute, which is at large. But I think the flute is definitely the more important of the lot. Plus, we also know on BuzzThunder's side of things that it is the 6th spell slot where Thunder is hiding. traiLZ is way behind. I believe he has 4 spells right now.
Yeah.
So here we go. We're going to remove one of the shells, and we'll see what's hiding behind door number 1.
And it is a P bag. So it's either 6
So
or
it's 5 or
5.
6 at this point. So traiLZ, because he acted second in the Monty Hall game, he's got a 50-50 shot here at finding the big deal behind door number 6. If BuzzThunder somehow makes his way into Palace 5, which I don't think he will do, Palace 6
he's going for 6 at this moment.
This is really a matter of if traiLZ finds the item and it is not the hammer, or even if it is at this point, he's going to have a distinct advantage at this point going forward. However, he will have to go look for Thunder if he gets gated by it. I don't think he'll go and look for it just yet. I think he'll make the seed prove it to him that he needs Thunder first.
Yeah, he still has places to explore, like the P-back cave in the eastern continent.
Because he's missing 3 spells that BuzzThunder has. He's missing a hammer that BuzzThunder has. But not having the hammer is actually helping traiLZ, because that's knocked out 2 hammer caves.
Yeah.
Plus, 2 boulder caves, plus a spectacle rock. So traiLZ kind of knows, okay, I don't have the hammer, so I've got to find the hammer somewhere first before I can get into these areas.
Yeah, and unfortunately for BuzzThunder, he's in Palace 4, which he hadn't entered before, so So he's gonna spend some time here finding the item, which I don't remember what it was. Maybe a pea bag? I believe it was a pea bag.
It wasn't anything fun. I'm pretty sure it was a pea bag. It could have been a magic jar, maybe, but I'm almost certain it's a pea bag. Now my goldfish brain is kind of working against me here. It's like, wait a second, I got to remember things now. Uh-oh. But
Yeah, so Palace 6 and Palace 5 either have the flute or a heart container or a magic container. But I will say it has to be the
I would
magic
think
container that
one's
both
got to
guys
be
are
a.
missing. Yeah.
You're guaranteed to have 8 magic containers in a seed, aren't you?
Yep.
So one would have to be the flute, one would have to be the final magic jar. So the only two items that between the two runners that we've yet to find.
Yeah, that's it. So traiLZ spending quite some time here in Palace 6 and BuzzThunder just entering.
So if traiLZ has an advantage right now, it's in the fact that he will hopefully find the item in Palace 6 before BuzzThunder manages to find it. However, traiLZ is kind of going the wrong way right now. We need to find another Rebanak.
Yeah, but I guess he exhausted his options on the right side of the palace. So this most probably will lead him to an elevator or something that leads him to the right.
Well, and no sooner do you say it than that's exactly what happens. traiLZ finding another way to progress.
And yeah, this being a tricky location for the item. Well, there's Barba.
So traiLZ finding the boss, the thing he has no interest in whatsoever. He will gain nothing by getting to Barba and defeating Barba. So traiLZ, after all that time, unfortunately finding his way to Barba. So BuzzThunder now, do I dare say, is in the lead? Or at least by
I don't know.
proxy,
traiLZ walked out of the Canadian hole. Okay, he found it. It wasn't
that was quick.
that.
So BuzzThunder is going to spend a little bit of time here as traiLZ is up against the item mini boss.
Yeah, we'll see, because traiLZ did that walking to the left that probably BuzzThunder won't do until he finds this place where traiLZ is at. And now, moment of truth, 50-50 moment.
Yeah. Oh no, BuzzThunder. Oh, traiLZ finds the flute.
So things that can save BuzzThunder at this moment: Great Palace being mean, being the great equalizer, or a thunder requirement.
Upstab possibly, because traiLZ would have to go and get either of them, I think.
Yeah, but I
traiLZ
believe
may do
BuzzThunder didn't get upstab either. Could be wrong, but I don't think he did.
No, neither have upstab to my knowledge, unless they started with it. And I've yet to see an upstab from either runner. So until they show it to me, I'm going to assume they don't have it. But traiLZ is going to have to do a little bit of work still.
If Thunderbird is required.
Correct. If Thunderbird is required,
but I don't think he will. I think
that
he'll
will
go
be the only
straight
thing.
to the palace.
I think he's just got to remember how to get there. at this point. But it's got the glove, got down stab. Let's see, what would Trails possibly need aside from Thunder? I can't think of anything. I mean, he's got everything that I think he would need otherwise.
Yeah, Upstab and Thunder are the only things that could stop him.
Both of those things right now would also stop BuzzThunder in his tracks all the same. So
yeah, but he knows where Thunder is. So
that
that's
is true.
The only
So,
thing that is
yeah.
working for him at this point.
So if Trails had to deal with finding Thunder, it's going to take him a lot longer. Buzz knows where it is. He knows where all the other spells are. Trails, unfortunately, or possibly fortunately, we don't know, as a little over an hour in, we've got Trails going into Great Palace. So this could be it. Well, it looks like we're being greeted with a chicken and waffle room.
So yeah, glove required.
Well, at least we got the glove straight away in this seed. So, that's one nightmare at least out of the way. But look at what we had to do to find the flute to even get into Great Palace. We had to just about 100% the whole seed. The only thing I don't think we saw is Palace 6.
Yeah, and remember that
that
I said that oh, there's a bird. And remember
so Trails has got
I
to
said
hope
that BuzzThunder wouldn't go to the left as Trails did. Well, he is now doing exactly that. So he isn't gaining any time in Palace 6 here.
No, so unfortunately, tick-tock goes the clock for BuzzThunder. Oh no, that's a dead end. Sorry, Trails, but
Thunder is required. We have a
Thunderbird
race.
required. Oh no, no way around it. Paperclip room into a dead end. So yeah, we can get the F's in chat for that one. That's a rough one. So Trail's gonna have to find the town that holds Thunder. BuzzThunder may not know where it is either, but a little bit of a ding job put into the works here. Trail's stepping into Palace just to reset his timer. Not interested in old Kasuto.
Yeah, he hasn't been into New Kasuto because he doesn't have the hammer. But yeah, I think the first time, the first town that Trails will try to go to is Darunia, and fortunately for him, that's the answer.
Well, that's going to work out pretty well for him. I almost thought he was going to raft over to the Western continent. I'm like, wait, what are you doing? No.
Yeah, Paratroopa Trails got Thunderbird blocked.
So BuzzThunder hot on his heels. It looks like he's found the item Rebanak. So Thunder, our requirement here for our runners. Trails right next to New Kasuto, but no hammer. So not going to help him anyway. New Kasuto is not the spell he's looking for. It's a matter of if he can remember where the other town is at this point.
Yeah, this Eastern continent is pretty bad to explore. So, but yeah, I think he found it. So yeah, this will be close. Trail still has a big lead, but Great Palace is the great equalizer. After Thunderbird,
well,
there are a lot of
unfortunately for
rooms.
BuzzThunder, it looks like he's going to run right to Three-Eyed Rock. and he's going to
Oh
get a
yeah.
nasty little surprise. So that's going to set him back a little bit. Trail's going to pop on in and go, "Hey, I got your child. Thunder, please." And oh yeah, we do have that minor little issue of upstab, but I
Did
believe
Trails get
Trail's
it?
not yet. Although I'm assuming that he's running to the left still, so he's going to pick up the upstab technique
Nope.
in this next.
Napsap is
No, he's out of
is in the right direction. So
Ay, ay, ay.
maybe he didn't get it. Yeah, that could be a thing.
So it is possible, however, very unlikely that we have upstab already. However, I'm going to say that BuzzThunder is going to be in for a rude surprise.
Yeah, that's
No.
bad for him. He's gonna lose some time here.
Yeah, unfortunately, Star BuzzThunder had every spell except Thunder. So Trails back into the Great Palace, this time for keeps, as it were, as he will be able to get past Thunderbird. With the levels he has, I don't think the Thunderbird fight is going to be all that difficult. It's just a matter of getting the Thunder spell to actually take him down.
Yeah, nothing to worry about.
So Trail's already cycling over to Thunder, and we're
Insane
actually,
room in this.
yeah, we're gonna have a handshake, but Buzz Thunder's gonna go, oh no, and then Buzz Thunder's gonna go up, see a paperclip room, and an immediate dead end. So Buzz Thunder's gonna go, shit, and know that there's no way around this Thunderbird fight. But Trail's gonna have a go at Thunderbird. I think if he gets tagged here, it might be feels bad man for Trails. Hopefully he can. Well, if you can dodge a wrench, you can dodge a fireball.
So BuzzThunder taking way less time to find the Runia than Trails. Trails took a big detour to the left, so that will play in his favor. But he's still pretty far from Trails at this point. At
Well,
least 5 minutes.
we're looking. No, I don't think it'll be that bad. At this point, Trails could end up getting bit in the ass by Upstab, and Buzz Thunder actually going to pick up Upstab.
Ooh.
So Buzz Thunder will be back into the Great Palace for keeps. Nothing can stop him. Trails still a little bit of a perilous journey. If he runs into an upstab block, I think that's going to be the Dunzo manifesto for Trails. But Buzz Thunder about to pick up Thunder and pulling into the pits to also pick up the upstab, so nothing's going to get in his way. And
So the drop that is to the right of what we call the Jackimus room is it drops into the top of the L7, and now Trails is forced to go left.
so another paperclip room for Trails, and we'll see where this ends up taking him. Buzz Thunder about 2 minutes behind right now. It was 107.30 when traiLZ defeated the Thunderbird. So we might be right, or excuse me, you might be right, Victor, with the timing of things being about a 5-minute disparity between the runners. As BuzzThunder,
Yeah, I'm gonna call it a 4 minute. It was little bit better for Buzz than I thought.
Yeah, even still, we're working on the better part of 3 minutes at this point, and the BuzzThunder Thunderbird fight is not gonna, snap your fingers and lightning strikes Thunderbird down. This is a attack 4 BuzzThunder we're talking about here.
So I was wrong about one of the drops, and the bottom of the L7 leads to the top of the L7 leads to the bottom of the L7, and that leads to the Ion drop, which is the room where traiLZ is at this moment. That's a dead end.
All right, so Eon drop for traiLZ, and BuzzThunder a little over 3 minutes behind into the Thunderbird fight. So if he can finish this off in the next 45 seconds or so, that'll put him in line with your estimate of 4 minutes behind.
Okay, and these are good news for traiLZ. This is one of the AppStop required rooms, but he's taking it from left to right, which is not a problem for him. So there's a possibility of being another one of those, but at least he the chances of it lower to half of what was before.
Well, we've got one of the possible roadblocks that could stop traiLZ. That's gonna do it.
Yeah. And as Bisco said, the Thunderbird fight is taking quite a long time for BuzzThunder because he has attack 4. And he's taking hits. He has to be careful here.
Yeah, unfortunately for BuzzThunder, traiLZ is at Dark Link. So that little bit of time that traiLZ was able to make back up, traiLZ was, made the right decision in not picking up the upstab, which could have given BuzzThunder a little bit more time in the Great Palace. But get those GGs in the chat, and
yeah, GGs for the champion of the Max Rando tournament, Mr. traiLZ, as Jackimus calls him.
Yeah.
So yeah, the deciding factor was the hammer. I'm gonna say it because
the
hammer led BuzzThunder to places where he shouldn't be.
Yeah, sent him off into 2 hammer blocked caves and Death Mountain, and I think that ended up sealing BuzzThunder's fate, as I believe we are being joined by our new Max Rando champion, traiLZ.
What's up, man?
So all that practice paying off, huh?
I don't know, man. I'm pretty sure BuzzThunder was ahead. I did a lot of really, I made a lot of big mistakes. I forgot I had the child. What happened?
Well, the thing is, one of those mistakes, which was not finding one of the pivot caves in the Eastern continent, got you the race, because that cave had the hammer, and of course the hammer led BuzzThunder into an adventure to find a flute in the wrong places. So yeah, you were kind of behind, but as soon as BuzzThunder was finding boulder block caves, the spectacle rock, the items in New Kasuto, the lady asked for 7 magic containers. He had to go find the containers, go get them to the lady. So yeah, the hammer was damnation in this one.
As it is a lot of the time.
Yeah.
Left it fucking trails got me the race.
Oh, so yeah, I thought you landed on top of the L7. Well, I missed that bit, but I was wrong. So the first drop you took, you went left.
Yeah, I went left to the trails room, man, and it was a
Okay.
linear one-way path to a bunch of other paths that eventually led me to Dark Link. And I don't think there was any other way to get there. Left to trails, I think, was BuzzThunder in there before me, or was I in there before?
You were actually into the Great Palace first.
With Thunder and everything?
Yeah, at both occasions of going into the Great Palace, you were first into Great Palace without Thunder, which BuzzThunder did not have either. Both of you found the Thunderbird and the Paperclip Dead End. Then both of you went to Darunia, but at that point you had opened up about a 4 or 5 minute lead because you were able to get out of Palace 5, I believe it was, where the flute was.
6, Palace 6.
Palace 6.
Yeah, it was in Palace
I
6.
knew it was one of the labyrinthine ones at the end. Oh yeah, it was. But you know, at
that was a troll. That Palace 6 was really trolly too. If you went downstairs, it was the whole palace, which is a bunch of garbage. But if you went upstairs, first room on the right was the item room, left room was a dead end. So if you went downstairs, it was just a massive loop. It was a really nasty.
Well, BuzzThunder is now at the upstep block room, which I believe puts him one screen away from Dark Link.
Yeah, he's really close.
Were you worried about the upstab coming back to bite you in the ass?
Not at all. I mean, I was just worried about, honestly, just at least being in Great Palace before Buzz finished. Because I didn't want it to be, I'm sitting there at the 50-minute mark, 55-minute mark with 3 gems placed. And I don't even know what the third palace is on the West Continent. But when I get over there, I realize it's Palace 1, and I'm like, oh, crap. I skipped a lot of the items on the West Continent. I don't know if you guys noticed.
Yeah.
I sailed east without getting the medicine.
Well, the medicine led to something irrelevant. I think it was fire, Link to Jump, or the spell, which wouldn't have helped. But, you know, all of the things that you cut out ended up actually allowing you to get ahead of BuzzThunder, because BuzzThunder pretty much, chat said it first, but I'm going to steal it away from him, pretty much 99% of the seed. I don't think either of you wanted any part of Palace 5. And that's about the only thing that we don't know, is if the last magic jar was in Palace 5 or not.
Yeah,
I mean, that's what I did last week. I 100% of the seed. What are you talking about? BuzzThunder didn't even see Maze Island or Palace 5. I did like a ton. Like I did 100% of the seed last week, and he was like, "Oh, I didn't even see Maze Island." So I mean, like you're singing a tune I'm well aware of. I know all about that. And last week, people weren't telling me, "Oh, dang, Taylor, you did such a great job, 100%ing the seed." You know what I mean? They were all giving me a hard time, which is cool. But yeah, don't forget about last week, only 7 days ago, where I did literally the exact same thing. And I don't know, I got kind of shat on, but whatever.
Well, you're the guy that was on top the entire time. I don't think you lost until that match. So
yeah, I mean, BuzzThunder and I traded punches throughout the tournament. The only person he lost to was me, and the only person I lost to was. Yo, what's up, Buzz?
Time of 1 hour 17 minutes 15 seconds. BuzzThunder finishing off this entire tournament in second place. Well, uh-oh. A little bit of an
So we
audio
have
issue for Buzz.
BuzzThunder in the room. Do we?
Oh, is he there?
I'm here.
Oh,
Oh,
GG,
okay.
bro.
Hey, GG.
Thank you. Yeah, it was kind of brutal. Nice work, traiLZ. Nice win. I think Yuno said it best. What did he say? Hold on, let me get the quote. You'd have to try really hard to do more unnecessary things less efficiently in this seed. That's how I played.
Well, the thing is, what happened was you found the hammer and I didn't, and I ended up clearing palaces. That's the only thing I didn't find was the other P-bag cave. I found everything else, and instead of running around trying to find it, I just, in a panic, started doing palaces. I went over to the east without finding out what the third palace was on the west, and when I saw the three-eyed rocket and hit a dead end, I up and ate and quickly found Palace 1 down there by the bottom, and then I did Death Mountain, then I did P6 because it was the closest thing to me, and then I got lucky, but had the hammer led to New Kasuto, which led to the flute, this would have been a different outcome.
Yeah, I guess that would have changed the order I did things a little bit, but it was just a lot of, oh, I have to go back here. Okay, now I have to do this. I mean, even leaving Great Palace before I went to GP, I was like, I should really go get Thunder, but decided not to, and then just had to go get it anyways.
Well, you didn't have a choice the second time through, because
Right.
you had Thunderbird and a dead end as your two route choices. So
Yeah, I thought that up elevator was going to lead to an upstab block. It was like really forcing you to go back to Denver to get upstab and Thunder.
oh,
So traiLZ asked that if walking left to in the traiLZ room was required in the drop destination. So
was it required?
That's the way I went, and it ended up being a long linear path that ended up taking me right to the Dark Link. And
Yeah,
it didn't look like there was any.
Yeah, there was a split after Thunderbird, but I just took the up and went left because you got done right after I killed Thunderbird, I think. And then I was like, well, I'm just gonna go up this elevator and go left. And yeah, that was a straight path there. So all the other rest of the palace was that direct right turn after Thunderbird. So yeah, that was required.
Yeah, I just knew that you were already in there. And when I took the drop, I started to go right, and I was like, you know what? Fuck it. Left the trails. Come on, let's fucking.
yeah, it's the finals. You had to do that.
Well, yeah. What's interesting is that we got two flute required seeds for both of the finals.
Yeah.
That's crazy, dude. It's freaking crazy.
I mean, yeah, less crazy for it blocking GP, but for it blocking the Eastern Continent, the first race is pretty rare.
Yeah,
that
one was
River
legendary.
Devil block last week was kind of brutal, but you know it came down to the flute yet again because of access denied to Great Palace. Ugh.
Yeah, I knew I was leaving a lot of stuff unexplored and on the table. Even when I saw Three-Eyed Rock before I went into Maze Island, and I was like, I still was skipping items, just thinking, I still have a 50% shot that it's not required. But yeah, it would have looked really good if if I didn't need the flute. That would have been great.
Yeah, I think that was really what got you. Actually, I think it was the hammer and the escapades that ended up coming of it. New Kasuto was a complete dump. Plus, Spectacle Rock gave you nothing. The hammer block gave you nothing.
Yeah, one boulder block cave in the Western Continent too.
Yeah, That wasn't terribly like out of my way from getting the hammer. It just I guess that would have sent me to New Kasuto 2 times, so that would have been a little bit of time spent. But as far as the way I was pathing it out, I knew.
Well, I think it sent you to Palace 1 after the fact to go find a magic jar to see what the old lady had.
Yeah, because that I had to go back twice, but yeah, a couple of those hammer spots were just kind of right there. But that's the way it goes.
Yeah, I didn't know I had to. I had no idea I had the kid. I don't remember ever picking up the kid, but I went in to go talk to the lady in Denver, and apparently I had the kid. I don't know. Do you guys remember where we got that? Because I had found Thunderbird, and I was like, well, let's see where the kid is.
Yeah, you were also lucky in that sense because you didn't pick up the spell in Maido and in New Kasuto. So yeah, finding Denver first was kind of lucky, but at the same time it was the right move because you were kind of near. Well, you took a big detour to going to the left, and then having to walk in the water, go down and go east and find Darunia. It was pretty long for you because as you found out when you got out of the town, there was a water trail that led you between Three Eye Rock and Darunia.
Man, I knew where all the towns were. I even knew where the New Kasuto tile was. Yeah, I just think I don't know. I had a brain fart, and I guess there's an element of luck to having the child when asking the lady where the child is, but I don't know.
Yeah, I don't remember where he was. Probably one of the west item caves, I would guess, because I got him like right away, I think.
Bisco is saying it was on the east. It was East Peabag Cave, northwest.
Yeah, the reason Peabag Cave had the child and the sunken one had the hammer. And yeah, I'm just noticing that you didn't have the medicine. The medicine was in the Heart Container Cave, maybe?
Dude, I was just trying to go,
the medicine
man.
was in Medicine Cave.
I was just trying to go, man. I was banking on
medicine was
GP
in Medicine Cave.
I was banking on GP being open, not needing a flute, and possibly Thunderbird not being required. But flute was required, and so was Thunder. So, I mean, I ended up making kind of a split second rush decision without even finding out what the palace was on the west. I was leaving behind to go sail east, and I think it might have kind of helped me a little bit because when I was got the majority of stuff on the east, I up and ate and went west looking for that palace, which then set me in a panic, which I was right by Palace 6, which was fortunate. After I did Death Mountain and Palace 1, the Palace 6 was right there, so.
Yeah, but this was quite an interesting seed, and yeah, it was worth of being the final game of the season. And last week's, of course, it was legendary too. So yeah, congratulations on that, guys. You gave us a huge show here, and it was very entertaining to see you race. And congratulations to traiLZ for winning the tournament.
Yeah, GG, both of you. So that's going to wrap it up for our coverage of this tournament, unfortunately. This was the final match. But it's not going to wrap it up for our coverage of Zelda 2 Randomizer, of course. We've still got the weeklies on Tuesday nights at 9 Eastern. And as Alan Heffley teased in the chat a few minutes ago, there's going to be an announcement in the Z2R Discord tomorrow morning possibly about some future plans. So keep an eye on that. Anybody have anything else to add before we call it a night?
No, I just wanted to give a huge shout out to ZeldaSpeedRuns for making this tournament possible and streaming almost all the matches. And of course, well, in this race, I want to thank Bleeding Blue 11 for the restream and coordinating things, and Ricky of Kokiri for the tracking, and of course my co-host Frico for making this interesting and fun and helping me in adding drama to the thing, which was pretty dramatic to start with.
Absolutely.
Yeah, this was definitely a interesting end to this tournament. I don't think I could have scripted it quite like it ended up happening.
Yeah, and certainly I want to thank everybody in the Z2R community, commentators, trackers, etc., that made this coverage possible and the tournament possible. It was great fun for us. We enjoyed having you guys on ZSR, and we look forward to the next event you guys decide to put on.
Hey, thank you guys. GG.
Yeah, congrats Trails on your win tonight, and I think that's going to wrap it up for our stream today. Hope everyone enjoyed the show, and we'll see you next time on ZSR.
Have a good night, everybody.
Good night.